Friendship in marriage. Is it possible? Absolutely. Does it guarantee that your marriage will never break? Nah. Sorry to burst your bubble, but it is the way it is. Um, Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. If you're new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. Here we don't pride ourselves of knowing everything. However, we do learn from each other. Subscribe, share, like. Let's get right to it. Um, I do have a few tips of what has helped me so far in my 10-year relationship. Um, so if you're single, searching a lady, searching for a man, I believe there are tips that can really help. However, I would love to put a disclaimer. They're not tips that are going to guarantee that your relationship will never work. Will work. Uh, but it's a definite guarantee that you're going to enjoy your relationship even 5 years, 10 years from now, because you'll be doing it with someone who is in it with you. Nowadays we are marrying people for the idea of marriage, for the idea and perception of people out here. However, we don't even consider ourselves, right? And then when you're already in the marriage, you're trying to change this person to now start liking the things that you like. And then when he doesn't, it starts becoming a problem because you start comparing him to others. I think I had made a video of where I was talking about, how to talk to each other and how to treat each other in marriage, and how women can become submissive depending on how they are talked to. However, there are things that you can't really change in a man. That's a whole other video of how there are things that you can change and those that you can't. And also these changes totally depends on the person that you're trying to change. I know I kind of confused you there. Let's say, for example, you met this guy and he was already drinking. He was already staying out late, coming in the house in the morning, and now all of a sudden you want him to stop just because you've now moved in together. Mm, yeah. That is going to be an absolute fail. And you're now going to start saying that, marriage is not working. He has changed. No, he hasn't. It's you who has. Maybe because now you can't stay out late, you now have a baby. So he still can stay out late, but you stuck in the house, breastfeeding, nursing your baby, and now you're getting frustrated because you kind of hoped that once you're stuck in the house, you're supposed to be stuck in there with you. But nah. So one of the things that I usually say is date someone or marry someone who has these qualities that maybe if he has something that you don't like, ask yourself, if you're not able to change him or he's not willing to change, is it something you can live with? If it's not, then I would say absolutely not. Not dating that guy. That's an ex. Because even though it seems like the first 5 years are doable, 6 years down the lane, 7 years down, it's going to frustrate you so much because you are hoping he's going to change. You are hoping you're going to change him, and now you're getting frustrated. So that's even not among my list. I just put it in there because I feel so many times we get into these relationships with people, either man or woman, who is doing things that are annoying us so much, things that really make your skin crawl, but you're thinking you're going to change him just because he has money or just because he has these other qualities that kind of blind you. uh, but there are other things to consider that many a times we don't, that at least make sure that you're going to be happy and your partner is going to be happy, meaning you're going to have a healthy marriage. Tip number one: date someone who matches your crazy. Yeah, matches your crazy. Your crazy is that side of you that you don't show everyone. Your crazy is that thing that no matter what age you are, you're never going to stop. No matter if you're 30, you're 40, it's something that it's in you, and it's something that you love. It's something that no one can really change that, unless you yourself wanted to stop, or unless some other circumstances. Like, for example, you love nature. Date someone that also loves this nature. That someone that is loves nature, someone that if you were to tell him to take a stroll with you in a place that absolutely has nothing to see, he's still going to enjoy that. Because that is something that you guys can still do even when you're 10 years into the relationship, and it will never get boring for both of you. Um, the other crazy that we can talk about is, like, for example, I know I'm a person who loves impromptu stuff. I'm a person that um just getting out of the house, the intention was just to take a drive to town, maybe pick a few stuff, and in the middle of it, like, or we go, I don't know where, something totally unplanned, and we'll just drive off and just go. I'm that sort of person. And blah blah, even this place we are going to, it's a place that you're even going to stay there for 2 days, 3 days. I don't have any clothes, I don't have any personal stuff, and I'll still be very okay with that. I'm that kind of person who believes I'll go wherever it is, and I'll get a toothbrush, I'll get a top to change, I'll get a trouser, I'll just pick myself up. As long as I have the phone, I am good to go. So you need the kind of person who can match that energy. He may not absolutely be an impromptu person like 100%, but at least let it be a person that can entertain that idea. If it's a person that can entertain that idea, then it's a person that you can definitely rub off some of the impromptu thing in him as time goes, right? Someone who, for example, us, we are the kind of people who can have a night out there, have maybe go park and chill. And now it's at 5 in the morning, we're supposed to be driving back home. And out of nowhere, like, you know what? Let's go to Isiolo. If you're in Kenya, you know where Isiolo is, and if you're specifically from Meru, you know where Isiolo is. And we'll just drive off. It's a drive of like an hour from where I live, or an hour and a half, depending on the speed. And we'll just drive off and just go, and you'll find ourselves taking a swim at 8, right? And very happy, not even worried of the clothes that I have, that the clothes that some people sold me in them yesterday. I don't care about that, and it doesn't also. Before, it wasn't really an outgoing person, but however, it was someone who loved impromptus, right? So you see where we connected, right? He wasn't outgoing, but he loves impromptu things. So that's where we kind of connected. So over the years, I rubbed off the outgoing thing, and so we kind of married that idea. So right now, if one of us is the one saying, let's take a drive, like, okay, right? So marry someone who matches your crazy, marry someone who you're free with, who you're not scared to tell what you want and how you feel. When you're asked, what do you want to eat? You're okay. We are told, we are accused, we stand accused, women, ladies, we stand accused that we don't really, we stand accused of not knowing what we want to eat. You're going out and you're being asked, "What do you want us to eat?" And you're like, "What do you want to eat?" And you're like, "I don't know." We're accused of that. But however, what I mean is someone you're not crazy to tell. I mean, someone you're not scared to tell. Um, about the things that you love to do, the things that you love to try, you know, your fetish, there are those things that are deep in your thoughts, or those things that kind of you're curious about. When I talk about fetish, what I'm saying is, for example, in sex. Yes, in sex, maybe there's a position you've always loved to try, but now, if you're dating someone or you're in marriage with someone that you're so scared, you can't really tell them, or if you tell them, you're scared how they are going to view you. You're scared they're going to think that perhaps you're cheating on them, or where did you hear about that? Where did you see that? Right? So date someone that you're not scared to talk to about these things. um, that way, at least you're guaranteed that in your marriage you're able to enjoy yourself, you're able to be free and say and speak your mind without holding so much to yourself. Because also holding so much, what that results to is, you the day that you happen to find someone of the opposite sex that you're able to open up to, there's a chance that you're really going to cheat with this person. Because if you're not able to be yourself in your relationship, and you find someone that you're able to talk to and you're able to do these things with, you're definitely going to do them with that person, and definitely creates a disconnect in your marriage. That's tip number one. Tip number two, one, a man that takes your heart or your problems as his. uh Marry someone that, if you're telling him a story of how a friend of yours or someone just came and pushed you, uh somewhere, and didn't even apologize, and then as you're telling them this story, they're like, you can tell from their face they're getting furious as you go. They're really getting mad as you go. For you, even maybe as you are telling them the story, it was just, you just have making conversation. You didn't really, as much as it made you mad, it didn't really stick with you. But now you're just sharing maybe your day, what happened during your day with your partner, but you're noticing they're really getting furious, really getting mad, until you're like, hey, it wasn't that serious. I'm like, no, why would they do that to you? They're not supposed to do that to you. Marry someone that carries your problem even more than you carry it, right? um Marry someone who doesn't want to see people using you, and when you tell them about it, they're supporting you. Before even you finish your statement, they're already picking the call they want to call that person that hurt you. They fight your battles for you. Find a person who, the things when he's hurt is not even, he feels the pain more when it's you who is hurt. You'd rather take the pain than let you feel it. Marry someone who is like that. Because if that's how that person is, it's definitely going to increase whatever affection that you had for this person. It's going to keep on piling up as the years go. And definitely it's going to make your friendship even grow. Remember, the reason why we are here today and doing this video is for the friendship bit, not even the love bit. Because trust me, as the years go, the love can really get challenged here and there. Because when it comes to the love, especially when you start having kids, have you ever wondered why you see people getting married, they're very happy together, but as soon as the kids come in, you just don't understand what happened, and you start wondering. Because I, for example, before having kids, before even way getting married, I would sit and just wonder, why is it that when people get married and have kids, uh, it's like their marriage just kind of just keeps on going down. The graph keeps going down and down and down. And usually, I think that's also what kind of informed my idea of at first not wanting kids. because I thought, when kids come in, then it's like they disrupt things. But I later on got to realize it's got nothing to do with the kids. Nothing to do with the kids. The kids definitely do pose challenges before the two of you adjust, but it's not the kids that break the marriage. It's both of you. It's uh it's both of you not readying yourself for these changes. It's both of you thinking that love is enough to hold the marriage. Love is not enough because love, especially for men, it's more visual. It's what he saw in you. It's your eyes, it's your hair, it's your flat tummy. Now you've had kids, my friend, your tummy is there too. I don't know. You have that lotto tank, you have that queen cake, that muffin around your waist, and now it's going down. But if the friendship is there, you're the one, as the lady, you're the one who'll be affected by you having the tummy. But with him, as much as he's seen it there, but it won't really affect the friendship that is in your marriage. It won't really affect how he sees you, because he knows that as long as he supports you, you're going to work on it, right? So marry someone that is really carrying that weight, even more than you carry it for yourself. And it's going to grow the love. Now that's where the love gets in. It's going to grow the love, because with love it can stay stagnant without growing in marriage. And in marriage, what you want the love to grow, not to stay stagnant. Because if it stays stagnant, other things are going to come in, and they are going to definitely cover it. And that's how you end up, being so sad in a relationship, being so sad in the hands of this man that once upon a time you couldn't sleep without talking to him. You couldn't, have your dinner, have your lunch, wherever without him. And now you're wondering, why the hell am I even in this house? Right? It's because you concentrated so much on the love, you forgot the friendship bit. Okay. So point number 3, um, a man that loves kids. Yes. Marry a man or date a man that loves kids. How does this help in the friendship bit? It helps in the friendship bit because if it's a man that loves kids, there's a chance that this is a man that it's also something that you can talk about as you're dating. You can talk about, I've noticed that you love kids. Are you the kind of man who would mind changing a diaper? You know, what's your take on men changing diapers? What's your take on a man helping the wife to feed the kid? What's your take? Ask these questions. These are also it's not necessarily that you must see him carrying kids around the neighborhood for you to know that he loves kids. He may be carrying the kids in the neighborhood just to play nice, but doesn't necessarily mean that he really likes them, right? So ask this question. Posting these questions, how he answers the questions are going to make let you know if this is a man that truly loves kids. How him loving kids guarantees you having a good friendship in your marriage is, once you have the kids, if right now you're single and you're listening to this, or maybe you're newly married, you don't have a kid yet, you may not relate to this, but those that already have kids, you can already relate to what I'm about to tell you. And those that don't have them can take advantage of this. Once you have the kids, they can really overwhelm you as a woman, especially if you have the kind of partner that won't help you with anything. For him, the best he can do is enjoy being called daddy, and that's it. Uh, yeah, but you're there. For example, like I had twins, my last ones are twins. Can you imagine if I had someone who will not even help me, put them to bed? Someone who will not even help me in maybe holding even one of them as I'm changing the other one's diaper, or at night when they were not sleeping. If I had someone who would not even, be there with me. There are those times that a man can only do so much, because if you're breastfeeding them, most of the times they were breastfeeding at the same time. There's really nothing much he can do there. But just knowing that he had them wake up, you know, knowing that he's there asking me if I need anything. He knew that whenever they circle, I will need something to eat because I used to be very hungry. He already knows that. So by the time I'm holding them to feed both of them, he's already like, "You want tea? You want porridge? What can I bring?" You see? Already that's been supportive. Already that increased my friendship and my affection for him, right? Someone who already knows by the time you're done breastfeeding, he already knows that you will need to help them burp. He has already picked one of them and he's already rubbing him, getting him to burp. You know, he's already seen one is already asleep. He's already picking him up to put him in his cot. Those teeny little things. But if he was a man that didn't really love kids, it doesn't matter if they are his kids or not. I don't think he would be into doing all that. I know there are those that learn in the job, but that's why I was saying about asking those questions, because those questions really help you to gauge what you can take and what you can't take. There are maybe women who don't mind as long as it's everything is being provided. They don't really mind if you're going to help them with the kids or not. But what I do know is that if you have a man that is not helping you with the kids at all, at all, at all, it's going to take a toll on you, which means that you won't have a mind that is well rested to even take care of him. Okay, that's a tip right there for you. For you, gentlemen, helping your woman with the kids make even contributes to her being submissive to you. It kind of does. That submission that is quite smooth, that submission that there's a certain way you like your food, and it's a kind of method that takes more like 20 minutes more to prepare. Even when she's so tired, she's still going to do it, because how you help her, how you're there for her, it makes her want to be there for you. Hope you got that one right. So having a man that loves kids, make sure that you also build your friendship with him, right? When you're telling him about burping, he's not wondering, what are you talking about? If when you're telling him, is the baby didn't burp, he's not like, "Oh, is it necessary? Must he burp?" You can educate them, yes, especially if you're new in the entire thing, because the burping and everything, all these things are also things that you learn as you're having kids and all that. But the love for the kids will also keep him interested in wanting to know these things, and you would not be explaining to a war. There's those times you can be explaining things to a war, literally. So that's another one. Marry or date someone that loves at least a quarter of the things that you do. That is also kind of the same as the first point of marrying someone that is crazy about the things that you do love. But however, what this means is, if you have someone who loves at least a quarter of the things that you do, at least you're guaranteed that you're going to be able to convince him. It's easier for you to convince him on doing some things, right? There's that part that I was talking about, being outgoing. I did say that he didn't really like it that much, but those times that he didn't like going out, at least there are things that I loved that he does love, or things that at least he could convince me, right? um Having things like, for example, I love cooking. I love cooking, especially if I already have someone who is telling me, today I feel like having vegetable rice. That is so easy for me. The thinking part of what to cook is a dilemma for me, just like so many women out there. But once I'm told what you'd love to have, I do enjoy the art of cooking. So that's another thing. For him, he also loves cooking and he enjoys cooking. So him being in the kitchen is not a problem, right? Because if you're from where I am from, where we stay, that is in Meru, there's some places where it's a taboo for a man to get in the kitchen. As soon as you're circumcised, you're now a man, fully a man, you're not allowed to go in the kitchen. Now you can imagine if I got married to such a man, kidogo ingekuwa ngumu. So, so him loving to cook and him enjoying to cook also has contributed in growing our friendship bit, because it's someone who can, as long as most of the time when we are just alone in the house, he can come in the kitchen, stay there with me. Sometimes he's even not doing anything much, but he's just seated there, and I'm there cooking. Sometimes even interested if I'm making something that it's I am the one who is good at it, to be asking me questions. Why? Okay, it can be annoying at times. Why are you adding that? Why should you add this? Why can't you add this? Such questions. We are there. They are getting mad at him because he's asking so many questions. But at the end of the day, we end up even spending some quality time without really knowing, right? There are those times, even when the kids are around and everyone is around, is like, what are you making today? Let's say he has come home early and he's like, what are you making today? And I'm like, this and this and this. And like, okay, let me make that for you. I'll make, for example, he makes the your best scrambled eggs. And they're like, let me make that for you, and anything to do with eggs is really good at it. Like, let me make that for you, that for me, because I also love cooking, it kind of contributes to building our friendship, right? So that was just an example of how you should get someone that at least loves even a quarter of the things that you do, because it's make sure that you guys will have things to do together and things that you will enjoy together. If it's the movie, you like going to the movies, or you love just staying in the house, chill and Netflix, is it something that he loves doing? If it's something that he loves doing, so definitely you won't get bored sitting there for 3 hours, 4 hours, just you guys just chilling. You're not even talking, you're just watching the movie, cuddled up on the couch and all that. That also builds the friendship bit, and also doesn't feel as if you've changed when you got into marriage. You're this whole new person and you're trying to figure out, who am I? Because now you're being forced to do things that you don't like. You're being forced to wear clothes that you don't like. That's also another thing. Is this someone that loves what you're wearing? Ask these questions even when you're dating. Stop concentrating on, did he take me, I don't know where, did he buy what for me, what kind of car that does it drive. Those things stop being meaningful so fast in marriage. And you start thinking you married a stranger or something, or you married a monster. You didn't marry a monster, you just married a personality, and that's who he is. Let him find someone that loves what he does, and they're going to be happy, right? My partner is a car fanatic. Oh my god, he's crazy about cars. I know most men are, but trust me when I tell you, I'll put evidence one of these days. It's someone who literally take a car that any other normal person would just throw away, but you take that car and you will transform it into something else, right? So it's someone is like a fanatic, it's someone who loves doing things for himself, is someone who he can afford to take the car to the car wash, but he wants to clean it himself. I, on the other hand, I love driving a clean car, but I don't enjoy cleaning one. So what we do, I will go outside when he's cleaning the car, and I'll just stay there telling him nonsense, giving him all the stories, all the motionnaires while he's cleaning. So he doesn't get tired cleaning, and we are there talking, joking, and everything. Within no time is done. And we've also kind of spent the quality time. Because back to the kids thing, when you have kids, you really realize there's very little time left for both of you, because of course there is work, There's him having his own time as a man, there's you wanting your own time as a woman, and then there's both of you. And both of you, the me time cannot be summed up as a time for you as a couple. So you have to find these things that are making you spend time with each other, right? So that's one of the things. He loves cleaning the car, he loves working on the car. I really don't, but I'll go there and I will start, trying to help him and all that. And with him loving cars so much and loving, doing all these things, with over the years it has kind of rubbed off on me. And now I'm finding myself being interested in spoilers, I don't know, mufflers, I don't know what lights, these lights work than this. I don't know, this muffler will produce this kind of sound, this other one will not produce that kind of sound. So I have found myself now getting interested in these things, right? So finding a man that loves at least a quarter of the things that you love as a woman, right? Or even if he doesn't really love them, it's a man that is attentive, it's a man that wants to learn. That's another point. I think that's a whole nother point. A man that is attentive when you're talking to him, a man that is interested in what you're talking about. I think that kind of brings us to the next point, which is a man who adores you. Not, I've not used love, I've used adore. Because in my experience, I feel like adoring and loving are two different things, right? Adoring is a man that you're not even aware he's looking at you. Perhaps you've dressed up, you're going out, you're not even aware he was looking at you because he's also dressing up. And then you kind of catch him trying to, steal a glance at you and he's looking at you. And when you look at him, he tries to look away. You have no idea what that does to a woman. I don't know if it's just me, but it makes me feel a whole lot of things. It doesn't even have to tell me that I look good. Him looking at me, that is more than enough. A man that, he still looks at you in public. A man who will find something, he didn't have even enough money for it and he's trying to save up for it. A man who, like, the other day we went to the supermarket and he's like directly to the handbag stations and I'm like, what are we doing here? He's like, there's a handbag I saw here and I kind of hid it somewhere here. I wanted to see if you're going to like it. Right there, I don't care if he buys that bag or not, but the fact that he had gone to the supermarket to do his own things, spotted a bag and he liked it, and made sure like he kind of hid it at the back of the other bags so that we can come the next day and I get to see this bag. Oh my God, that is more than enough for me. I don't even need him to buy that bag. I don't even need him to buy anything for me. That he has fueled my love for him, fueled my friendship for him, like for the next 1 week, 1 month, 2 months or so. What this does is also 2 weeks, 3 weeks, he might get me mad, but it will kind of make me calm down because I'll remember, oh, this is that kind of man that will go and see something and think about me even when I've not told him that I need this thing. So it kind of makes me, calm down and want to forgive him and all. So yeah, you get a man that adores you, a man that even when you're like in public and you're talking about something, you can see how attentive he is, how he looks at you, how he's literally, literally admiring you, someone that you can catch, looking at you just like that. Even him himself, it's not like he's intentional about looking at you. He just fixed your eyes on you and he cannot look away. Right? So get a man that adores you, a man that, with the adoring part, even if it's 10 years from that time, you still adore you. You still want to listen to you and to whatever it is that you're saying. And that also, of course, it increases your friendship. It makes you want to look good as a woman, encourages you to want to look good. Because trust me, there are times as a woman that comes that you're not feeling beautiful at all, you can refer to the point of where we were talking about weight. There's a video about that where it's that time you're not feeling beautiful at all. You're wearing every other dress and you're just not feeling good about yourself. Of course, now if you're with someone that adores you, even at that time, and you're still catching him looking at you here and there, that fuels you more even to want to work on yourself, right? So that's another one. Another point is um has some level of pettiness. Yes, I know. Yes, a man that has some. I've said some meaning that it can't be too much, because now if it's too much, it's going to cause problems. But a man that has some of it, what pettiness does is, let's say for example you've murdered each other and you're being petty. I've not said the woman because I know women are naturally petty. But with men there's some who don't. There's some, even if they have it, they are not able to express it to everyone. So have a man that is has some level of pettiness that kind of matches yours, even if it's a little bit. Because when it comes to that time now that you're solving your issues and you're done solving, you're able to laugh at the things that you did when you're mad at each other, those petty things that you did, right? Uh, for example, with him, when we are mad at each other and he wants me to know something that there's something important that he was to do on that day, but now he can't tell me because now we are furious with each other, we are not talking to each other. What he does is he'll be talking to our son Eli, who is 5 years old, but now maybe I'm in the other room, and then like in the sitting room he'll be talking so loudly because he wants me to hear, but at the same time he doesn't want me to talk. He doesn't want to talk to me, right? So once we solve whatever issue we had, I'll be like, that day when you were talking to me, like, I know we were talking to you. It's like, yeah, I wanted to tell you, but of course I was too mad at you. I did want to talk to you, and I didn't want to be the one talking to you, the one who talked first. Yeah, I know. So yes, someone who uh, is a little bit petty, because now once you start solving and you've already solved, you're going to be laughing at each other, and it kind of neutralizes, even if you were so mad at each other before, it kind of neutralizes because now you start laughing at each other over the pettiness. And of course he won't admit that he was being petty, but you know that he was being petty. So some level of pettiness in a man is really good for the friendship bit in the marriage. So the other point, we kind of winding up, is of course a man that is kind and giving. What that does is, if he's kind and giving, you notice that I've kind of gotten distracted. My son is home. Here he is. This is Eli. Say hi.
Hi.
Say hi. Wave. Say hi.
Hi.
Okay, let me finish up, okay?
Yeah.
I'm coming.
Yes.
Go have something.
Yes.
Okay. So what that does is, someone that is kind and giving, if he's kind to others and giving to others, they will stand a chance of him being kind to you. And you need someone that is kind to you, because definitely if you're living with someone, let me ask you a question. If you have a sister or a brother at home, or even cousins, you guys kind of fight, guys kind of have misunderstandings. So definitely if you're now living with someone else that you've not even been brought up together, there's definitely going to be pull and push in ideas. You're going to get mad at each other. You as the woman are going to do things that are unforgivable to him, or things that makes him feel as if you're disrespectful. You need a man that is kind, because if he is kind, then he's not going to start treating you in a funny way just because he's mad. Because I have seen men who even stop buying necessary stuff in the house just because he is mad. There are men, I've heard of men who even delay on paying rent. Like, for example, they know the rent is due by 5th of every month, but now they won't pay it just because they want the landlord to come and ask for the rent, or if it's the agent or whoever it is that you deal with, so that you're the one to talk to him. Now, the reason I've also deviated to that example is also I want to explain that is not pettiness. Now that is not pettiness, because you're putting our business out there. You're involving other people in our business, and you're now not doing the whole, we're not now doing our duties. You see? Because it's like, even for the woman, you not cooking for him, that's not pettiness. That's a whole thing that is even going to affect not only the friendship, even the love bit and every other thing. Because if you expect him to buy shopping in the house, even when he's mad, why are you not cooking just because you're mad now? So let's understand each other when we are talking about pettiness, and when you're talking about fundamental things that both of you are supposed to be doing. Either you're mad at each other or not. Because even if you're mad at each other or not, it means the baby in that house or kids in that house have to eat, right? So let's not confuse that point though, right? So someone that is kind, someone that is going to do these things for you, someone that is going to be gentle with you even when he is mad at you. So yeah, you notice that with all things, then I wait a little bit, I'm almost done. Okay. The last point is handsome according to you. I know, right? I saved the best for last. Realize I didn't start with it being the first point. One would have thought that would be the first one. Nah. Let's be honest. I see comedians all over the place making this joke of how us women in our 20s will be going before God, praying for a handsome, financially stable, I don't know what tall, dark and handsome man. But when we approach our 30s and our mid 30s, just saying to God, just give me a man. But really, a handsome man, I'm putting that disclaimer of according to you. Why I'm saying according to you is this. Yes, we can be there. Let's say you're walking together, you're taking a stroll with a friend of yours, a girlfriend of yours, and you see a handsome man. Both of you are like, that guy is handsome. And the guy goes. And now you're in this setup where the same handsome man has come and sat down, and you have like 30 minutes with the man, and you're both looking at the guy, and you're like, oh my God, that's my son trying to get attention however he can, but you're almost done. So you're in a setup where you're with this guy for like 30 minutes, like, at a place where both of you are able to look at him. Trust me, in those 30 minutes, both of you will have different ideologies. You can both agree that he's handsome, but perhaps you'll be like, okay, he's handsome, but his hair, I wish he had, I don't know what kind of haircut. He's handsome, but is a little bit light for my type. He's handsome, but I don't like long nails. He's handsome, but you see now those buts clearly show you that as much as you are agreeing that he's handsome, there are things that you don't really like in him, right? That's why I'm saying date a handsome man, yes, but also according to you. If he's handsome according to you, it means you brought home, or you're home with someone that you truly you're truly attracted to. Someone that even if it's 5 years down the lane, where he's gained weight or he has lost weight, he's now has gray hair, he's still handsome to you. It's someone that you're still attracted to no matter what. It's someone that 5 years, 10 years, when the infatuation is over, there's that feeling of when you're starting off and the fire is really burning and you don't know the dirty secrets of this person, you don't know the pet peeves of this person, you generally love everything about them. But now, 5 years down the lane, you've discovered he's going to be taking off his socks and just leaving them all over the house. These are things that when done for a long time, they might kind of course change your affection for this person and change the love for this person. But if you're with someone who is handsome, someone when you look at him, makes your skin crawl, someone you're so mad at each other, but within maybe the duration when you're mad at each other, he got himself a new t-shirt, a new shirt, and he kind of wears it that day that you're mad, and you're like, my God, that guy is handsome. Okay, marry someone that is handsome according to you. When you see him coming towards you and you're at a distance, you're like, who, that one is mine. Someone that makes you feel things that you cannot really explain to anyone. These are things that are going to keep you glued to him. These are things that are going to make you love him even 10 years from now, 20 years from now, still finding him attractive. Someone that you can't let him walk out of the house looking like a hot mess. Even if you're so mad at each other, you still want to fix his shirt. You care the fact that he's handsome. You care, you don't want to, Kwalibu. Look who, and now the twins are up. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here and for listening to all these I'm saying, all the things that I've been saying. I am definitely not an expert, and I definitely appreciate you guys for staying tuned even with all the disruptions and all that. It's not easy being a content creator, especially when you're doing it at home and the kids. So thank you so much, and I appreciate it. I hope if you've not found your partner yet, you're better yet, that you're going to find someone that makes you feel a whole lot of things. Someone that even on the days that you're very mad at each other, at least you have a friend in him. Friendship in marriage is very important because it makes those hard days easier. Because in marriage, you can even have financial constraints. If you guys are friends, you kind of talk about these things. You're struggling with the kids, you're struggling at work, you have someone to talk to at home. But if you're not friends with someone, it doesn't matter how beautiful they are, how handsome they are, it kind of hits you different when it's 2 years, 3 years into the marriage, and now you have no one to talk to. Now you have struggles in your marriage that you cannot talk to. You have some personal struggles that you have no one to talk to. You would love very much to talk to your partner, but you can't talk to them. All right? You're now in marriage, and now you're looking at another couple, and you're wondering, how is it that she gets to go out with her husband? I mean, they've been married for 5 years. They've been married for 10 years, married for 15 years. Why does he still take her along? How is he able to stand her for 10 years straight, pack and chill and all that, right? How is he able to do all these things still, right? And now you're there wondering, and that's when you start hearing things like amemkalia, the wife amemkalia. From wherever you are, you may not, if you're especially from the West, you may not get what I'm talking about. But what I'm talking about is, I don't know if you've met people who, when they see a happy couple, most of the time they will say that the wife is really hard on the husband. That's what we say, amekaliwa back here in Kenya. But in most cases, hakuna kukaliwa, amekaliwa. Imagine that's a man that is very happy to do the things that he is doing. Why? Because for him at that time, he's not even doing those things with the wife. He's doing those things with a friend. For him, he's having a good time with a friend, not the mother of his kids, not the wife. So if you don't want to be that person that you're in marriage and you're looking at another couple and you're like, amekaliwa, if you want your marriage to be that kind of marriage that you're able to hang out with your man, you're able to do fun things with the man, not necessarily hanging out, because like we said, you have to find someone that likes a quarter of the things. Maybe the other 3/4, they are the things that going out is what one of them, and maybe it's not yours either, and it's something you can live without doing. So any other couple going out might not really affect you because you have other things that you do for fun with him, right? So I wish you well in your marriages. Also, some of these other points, there are things that you can incorporate in a marriage that is already existing. It's only that with you, since you're already in it, there are things that can take time, and also the man has to be willing for you to execute some of these changes. But I do wish you well. It is doable and it's possible to be happy. It doesn't necessarily mean that when you do these things, it guarantees that you guys are never going to part ways. But it kind of guarantees that at least you're happy in your marriage, and you're happy in your relationship, right? You're happy in your relationship, even if let's say things come to an end at some point. You're not going, because this every here, you're not going to feel like now you wasted your Mom. 10 years. Yes, Baba. Hi. Hi. How are you? Yay. Okay, go to Eli. You're not going to feel wasted. You're not going to feel like you wasted a whole 10 years. At least you're going to say, even if our marriage has broken up, we had some good times. Even if our marriage has broken up, we've so done, but we had some good time and I had a friend in him. Let's strive to make ourselves happy, because there are so many other things in life that are hitting us left, right, and center. So at least let not having a friend in your marriage be one of them. Because also, if your partner is a friend of yours, you're going to, it kind of eases up things that we face in life. Thank you so much. Let's continue subscribing, liking, sharing, and listening to everything that I have to say. Really means a lot to me. Thank you so much, and you guys have a lovely time and be blessed. Mwah.